Hello everyone, it's Christine here and I'm back for Thrifty Thursday. But before I get into sharing all my wonderful thrifty finds, which includes a whole box of goodies next to me, plus a few of the items you can see on display on my desk, I wanted to start off with a beautiful piece of happy mail that I have received in the post this week, which I have just been really wanting to open up, because it is a swap square as part of Artie Farty Annie Claxton's swap that she is hosting with the theme of Home Sweet Home, or Home is Where the Heart Is, along those lines. So this is from Alyson, and I've folded over where Alyson's address is showing and my address is on the front. So I'm just going to open it up very, very carefully so we don't display any addresses. I told Alyson I would wait to open it. So there we go, home and a heart, which is just perfect. I'll keep the envelope to put in my happy mail folder. Oh, and I think the square's in there, so I'm going to put that aside and delay the gratification for a moment. And Alyson obviously knows that I've got a strawberry related project in the plans. And isn't this beautiful, a piece of strawberry fabric here? Such lovely little gift to send with the Happy Mail square. Definitely not required to send anything when you're sending a swap square, but so thoughtful of Alyson to send me some things that are just so perfect for my little strawberry project. I sometimes wonder with these things, which way do they go? They go up. Sometimes hard to tell the front from the back because they're almost sort of perfect on both sides. I think it's got a little label there, so I'm guessing it goes this way. And isn't that beautiful? Got the strawberry in the middle and then got all the fruits around it. That is so beautiful. Look how nice it looks with the fabric underneath. Look how perfect that looks. And then another lovely strawberry fruity fabric as well. And these are all fabrics I don't have in my little strawberry pile. It's now getting to be quite a decent pile, so I'm definitely going to start work on that project. Possibly not in December, but definitely in the new year. I think I've got everything I need for it now. And it will probably actually be a few different items within the project. I'm just going to put some hand cream on because my hand's just catching a little bit on the goodies. So thank you, Alyson. That is really, really thoughtful, and I will put those in my pile of strawberry goodies. And then let's have a little read of the card. So here's the back of the piece, which we always love. Well, I always love taking a look at the back of the piece. And Alyson writes, "Thank you for swapping with me. I hope you like the home sweet home I made for you. I had to make sure there was a puppy on it." So yeah, Alyson obviously knows that Travis is the center of my world. I also found some strawberry fabric and a doily when cleaning my sewing room. I know you said you have a strawberry project coming up, so I hope you can make use of them. How incredibly thoughtful, and what a lovely little card that is. What a lovely idea. I love people that can do those little sort of line drawings. So I'll be putting that with my very special collection of happy mails. And let's take a moment. Let's just make sure we're in focus. I might even bring you down for a moment so you can look at the square in a bit more close-up detail. So that's the back of the square. I always like trying to guess. I think that's probably a bit of roof line there, a window or a door. I'm guessing maybe some garden there. I can see some sort of flower shapes. Maybe a fence or something in the foreground. Maybe a tree. In fact, maybe there's a tree up there. And some beautiful sort of cantha stitching across the piece, and then lots of cantha stitching actually running this way up as well. Shall we turn it over and have a look? Oh, and there's another square of fabric. Okay, we'll come back to that one. And there's a sweet little Scotty dog, and how funny is that? Because you'll see later on in this video when I share some of the fabulous buttons that I found, there is a very Scotty dog theme going on. So funny to have that, and how lovely. And very apt actually, because my heritage on my dad's side is Scottish. Beautiful tree. Oh, and I love how you've done the roof, Alyson. That is fabulous. And it's my sort of house. I've always thought houses should have a veranda running around them and all the shade. So that's part of the veranda. So that's perfect for me. And given we are planning a house in regional Victoria, blue skies, a little bit of cloud, lots of green, lots of area for Travis to run around. Look, a sweet little bead for the door handle. That is just absolutely perfect, and a fabulous use of the lace to make like the lattice work you get on the heritage houses. And I love that you've used the patterned fabric underneath your. Is that like a honeycomb stitch? And I'm pretty sure we did that in the stitch along. It was like I can't remember if it was a version of blanket stitch, but where you essentially make a honeycomb shape. But that's great. I've actually forgotten how to do it, so I'll have to refresh myself. And then Alyson probably knows I love the rickrack. I love my Nana's travelling rickrack. But how beautiful to have that. And yeah, some lovely variegated fabric for the tree, and beautiful sweet little flowers. I absolutely adore that, Alyson. That is definitely going to be featuring in whatever I do to sort of feature these swap pieces. And I've still got pieces from the earlier swaps I did quite a few swaps ago with Annie Claxton, so I'm going to have to plan a bit of a project that really gives them a beautiful spot, and possibly a lovely little sort of like display item or items for my craft room. So yeah, I just love it, and I love touching pieces that people have stitched. It's just such a pleasure to look at the sort of composition, the technique, look at the stitches they've used, but just the lovely creativity. You always end up with something that you wouldn't have sort of conjured yourself, but it's just so amazing to see what others create. Even the tree trunk with all the different variegated colours, just so effective. And the lovely sort of fibres up the top. It's just great. And even the way Alyson has used the raw edge down here on the door, it just adds beautiful texture. And the cantha stitching up that way is almost like the wood on a wall. Just love the colour tone of the house. It's really soft and relaxing. We were actually contemplating a sandstone sort of colour for the house that we're building. We haven't yet decided on the bricks, but we're still pondering. And then there was this extra bit which I didn't even see. Oh, some more goodies. So a different rickrack to my Nana's green rickrack. This one's even finer, and the vintage rickracks always feel so lovely. You can just tell the difference between the vintage and the new ones. These just have such a lovely softness to them, and a sweet little fan. Did I drop another button somewhere else? Oh, yep, up here. And a lovely little flower button. Oh, and there's another bit of rickrack up here as well. I've been absolutely spoiled. Look at this one. I haven't got any in that colour. So I'll add them to my very special little rickracky collections. And then some very sweet little bird houses, which I adore. I do love them. And in fact, I think some of these could feature in another project that I've got coming up for the new year, which is going to include a stitch along element or opportunity as well. So stay tuned. I'll see if I can kind of talk about that project in December, so you can start to gather some goodies for it. So I might just pop it all back into the card so that I don't misplace anything. And I'll pop it back in the envelope off camera so I don't accidentally reveal any addresses. So thank you so very much, Alyson. I'm incredibly touched by the thoughtfulness of that piece, and I'm just, I absolutely love it. It is so perfect for me. So on to Thrifty Thursday. So these are goodies that I have collected over a few weeks, and I'm going to bring you up again. Bring you up till I'm about that height. And what I might start off with is showing you what I've got on my desk here, which I believe is a hem measurer. I saw it and it's meant to stand up this way, but it's a bit hard to show you that way. It's just a beautiful wood base piece that's got a hole in it where you can then put the measuring tape or the measuring sort of stick into. But as I popped it on my desk, I was originally getting it thinking I'll put it out with my vintage sort of haberdashery display, but I've decided it's probably going to be perfect to make sure I don't go off camera when I'm filming, because I can use it to mark my area that I've got to stay in to avoid going off screen. So I thought it could be quite handy for that, because it's almost the right length if I sort of have the camera at about this height. In fact, if I bring it down to there, it's about perfect. And then I know I just need to remain in this area to stay on camera. So that's the first of the items. And I got that from a Facebook group called Vintage Inspired People, where they have a periodic sale and the prices are really, really good. So there's a few other things in this bundle that I got from there. In fact, this one and this were in a vintage haberdashery sort of sewing kit, so I'll come to that in a moment. But first up, I thought I would start with some laces that I got from my local op shop. I'm just having a sip of tea as well. Laces and little appliques. So these ones ended up being free because they were just loose ones that had been reclaimed from other items. But I just love how vintage they are, and I just think they're such incredibly sweet little designs. And again, they're going to be great for a project, my stitch along project that I have coming up. So I'll pop those over there. I thought this one would be fabulous for the stitch along that I'm doing with Sally from Dotty B. This Christmassy looking piece. It's like a poinsettia, I guess. And I just thought that would be fun to keep aside for that project. And then there was some beautiful collar pieces. So that's really, really gorgeous. This one could have actually come from Vintage Inspired People. I've now forgotten which ones came from the op shop, because I did get some from the op shop as well. But I love these to do some collages in, to then sort of, yeah, stitch into. They're just really beautiful pieces. And a lot of work has gone into someone crocheting those. And another very sweet little collar. This did come from Vintage Inspired People. It's just so sweet. It'd be lovely actually to wear one like this. Just really, really lovely. Just check. Yep, I am staying in focus. I don't know if you're down close enough. Maybe I do need to bring you down even a bit closer, just so you can see all the details on the laces. When we get to fabrics and things, I might need to bring you up again. At least here I can see, and just click the camera periodically and make sure we are staying in focus. That looks similar to the other one. Is it exactly the same? Pretty similar. But it's a different thread that's been used. This one feels a little bit of a slightly thinner thread, and this is a bit of a softer thread. Then we have a gorgeous, beautiful lace. Absolutely adore this. And there's a really nice quantity of this, which is fabulous. Very decent amount of that. That came from the op shop, I'm pretty sure. These ones were just little 50-cent ones from the op shop that I got yesterday. And they're beautiful, so fine. I think this one might have even been 25 cents, which is just a crime for something so delicate and so vintage, well actually antique. And a really lovely quantity. Oh, this was another little one I got free. It's been reclaimed from something, but it's got that lovely French shield look. And then another gorgeous lace again from the op shop, 50 cents. Can't go past the old ones. I'm still digging in the lace box and still managing to find some treasures at that op shop, whether they're replenishing it or not. I am finding the treasures. So this one's got beautiful leaves and like little maybe gum nuts or little berries on it. And again, a really, really good quantity of it, but of such a beautiful lace. Over with my laces. I'll put my buttons over here. I also did pick up a few bits of crockery. So this was, I think, $2, but I just thought it was such a lovely tray, and I'll be able to use it in my craft room to put things like. Indeed, my lace supplies on it as we design up plans for the house that we're going to build, and my beautiful creative studio. I'm just sort of thinking about how I'd like to have on the surfaces various little sort of like dishes and things with lovely treasures in them, and I just think having the old vintage plates and things like that will be great ways to display things. So I also got this little pot. It is an Edelstein of Bavaria, made in Germany. It's got a number on it, but I just thought it was really sweet, and to even keep some buttons or something in there. And then I also got this jug, which is a Portland Pottery, Cobridge, Staffordshire, made in England. It's got 1958 of 1956, so I don't know if that was made in August of 1956, but I thought even for keeping things like your pens or whatever, or paintbrushes, that would be really lovely. I just love that nice bright sort of rose design. Then we get into a wonderful collection of buttons, and so these I've probably collected over 2 or 3 visits to that same op shop, and I've been finding the most fabulous buttons in their just mixed button jars. Let me just move my treasures of lace actually over into my, I'll pop these in my jug because then I can put my buttons on the tray. So I've collected them I think over about 3 visits, and this particular op shop has all its buttons 10 for $1, so you get 10 buttons for $1, and they have the most fabulous, I can't believe they're actually selling beautiful glass buttons, 10 for $1. Now I'll probably bring you down even closer so that you can actually hopefully see the beauty of the buttons. I don't know if this is an old one particularly, but I just loved that it was a beautiful orb. But then glass buttons, so gorgeous designs. You can see the detailing on the back of it. Another beautiful glass button, beautifully faceted underneath so that it has picks up the light in the most glorious of ways. A lovely flower button. I don't know if it'd be better to show you on. I've got some red felt here. Let's just see if it looks better with the red felt to show you the buttons. Don't know how well the camera's actually going to pick that up, so I might need to continue with my hand. So another gorgeous glass button. Another beautiful one. And you can tell if you are going through a button jar at like an op shop or thrift store, the glass buttons are so much heavier than a plastic button, and they also feel cool, much cooler to the touch than plastic would. Another beautiful flower one. But I just love how they catch the light. They really are like little gemstones. A beautiful big one, and look at, they've got the sort of the bubbles underneath so that it creates that that sort of bubble appearance. Some of these would have originally probably had some gold on them. I absolutely adore this one. I think this is one of my favorites out of the set. So it's a flower, but it's all almost like sort of carved out of the glass. It is just stunning. Don't know if we can zoom in that well. And then another lovely little faceted one. I'll show you a few at once, otherwise you're going to get very bored. But I know there's many button fanciers out there as well. It's just incredible just to see the variety of types of glass buttons, and I haven't even fully explored the stash yet. I just sort of did what I could while I was taking a little lunch break, and had popped to the supermarket and thought, I'll drop into the op shop while I'm out. Show you a few more. Those are similar ones. Some of them have been used before because you can see little bits of string like in that one. tiny little one here. Let's get that one. Isn't that one sweet? And some more beautiful ones. There's Simois. Just put a few on the hand because, as I say, otherwise it might get a bit tedious. I love this one. It's got a diamante in it, but it almost looks like a mushroom. So I think I did very well with these finds, and I haven't looked in the other colours of buttons to see if there's other coloured glass buttons. So I'll need to spend some seriously good time going through everything. Then there's some milk, like milk glass buttons. This one's got lovely intricate design on it. You can see that. This one's, I think, a plastic, but I just liked the little nautical scene on it. That's a milk glass button. Well, these ones, I think, are plastic, but they've got lovely little flowers on them. But there are still some more glass ones. Glass one, glass, glass, a hexagonal one. I think this one could be a plastic, but I liked the little diamantes. Another lovely glass one, a milk glass. So I'll pop those. Oops, and another glass with a metallic coating on it. So you can just see how many wonderful treasures I have. And then a variety of other ones. These ones I love. They've got a bird on it, a very... not sure whether it would be, no, not a stork, very tall bird, not sure, almost looks like a mythical, like a medieval sort of bird, but they're glass ones and beautiful. And then this one has a very lovely, in fact I don't even know if I was properly in focus for the bird one, so I'll put the bird one back on and try and get you in focus. This one's got a lovely cameo of a lady in profile. And then there's some mother of pearl ones, which I love. I love the patination you get in them. I always collect those up when I see them. I've got a whole jar of mother of pearl buttons now. Plenty to share as well. These ones I think are shell of some sort, but with metallic in them. Let's make sure we're in focus. That's those ones. And then a few others that are more novelty. That one's a plastic, but I liked the design. I thought it could even be good on some of our Christmas things. A very sweet little sort of Bugs Bunny, a little bird house, which goes well with that fabric that I got from Alyson. Some little birds. See, everything's linked. I thought these buttons, I think they're only plastic, but they had sort of Christmassy colours on them, so I'll put them over with my goodies for my silly Christmas stitch along. These ones, there were two of these, and these are glass buttons with faceted pieces on them. Just stunning, very glamorous. And then we've got a few more. So we've got, I might just now go down to the tray, just bring you down a smidge further. And so there were these interesting wooden ones that have yeah, a little hole in the back, but wood coated with metal. There were a few that were just like novelty. They're butterflies, a thimble, a few other novelty. That's another glass one, beautiful. That's another glass one. That's a shell flower. Oops, another glass one that I've missed, another glass one. I liked this little bird. I don't know if it was originally a pendant or anything. A little stocking, which I'll put with my Christmas goodies. A few more. Another lovely little one with a flower on it. Another bird. And then I've got a few interesting things to show you here. What's that one on? That's a little cherub. And so down here then, I've got these gorgeous little Scotty dogs that I showed you one of before. And I looked them up online, and someone's selling them on Etsy for something crazy like $14 per individual button there. JHB or something made them, and I think they date back to maybe the 80s or something, which I suppose is now 45 years ago, but pretty amazing. I definitely wouldn't buy something this tiny for $14, but I do love them, and so I collected all the ones I could find in the little container. So I've got 7 of them. So they are very sweet. And then I found this one in the button container, and I was thinking, what on earth is it? But it felt very heavy, very interesting, and I've subsequently done some research because it had the number 4 engraved in the top. You probably can't see that, but I took a photo and zoomed in. And then it had DRA that I could see engraved over here. And I did a image search on Google and found out that they're weights that are used generally like in pharmacies or in post offices. And this was 4 drams, which is the equivalent of about 7 grams. So it's a brass weight. Possibly it might even go back as far as the 1800s or early 1900s. I haven't found one of exactly this size because they come in sort of sets of a whole set of weights, but it's really, really sweet. And again, it's crazy what some of these are selling for online, but I'm going to put it in my little treasure chest. And then I also got a bag, and you might look at this and think, oh, that doesn't look very exciting. Looks like just some plastic buttons, but they are actually glass buttons as well. And it's a set of beautiful glass buttons, and you can tell the glass buttons as well because if you tap them like that, they're going to make that sort of a noise, whereas if you tap buttons that are plastic, you're going to get that dull sort of noise, not the noise of glass tapping on itself. So I'll put them back in their little bag. I probably don't actually, maybe I'll keep them together. They'll probably end up all being mixed in. So that was my lovely button finds, and then we'll power through a few more finds. So this was from Vintage Inspired People, I think, on Facebook, and it's a whole unfinished set of pieces. I think it was very cheap because it does have some staining. There's another little mark on one of the other ones, but I just love the ones when they're still in their original whole set of linen. And I am going to bring you up again just to get to a point where I have a bit more space to show you the things. I'll put my little tray of treasures over here. And so it's got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, and even more. Oh, it's got enough to make a tea cozy as well. So it does have a little hole and stain over here. And it is a tray mobile set designed by John Martin and Co Limited, Adelaide. So that's interesting because a lot of these pieces are Semco, but I've not seen that name before, so I'm going to have to research that. But I love it even in its entirety, and who knows, I may even do some dyeing of it and then actually use it as a piece to stitch in its entirety rather than working them individually. That could be really fun. It would almost make like a little tablecloth, because I'm thinking you could even work with colours into the edges, which would be normally where you do some crochet into when you cut them out. So that's a fun idea. See, I even work things out when I'm just chatting away to you all. So I'll pop that into my bag down below. Some fabric. Just thought this was lovely, and I do have a project coming up where I'm going to kind of have some centres in the pieces that I'm creating, but all will be revealed in due course. This one was a almost finished embroidery. It's got all the bits and bobs. Again, this came from that Vintage Inspired People. But I don't think it actually even needs finishing. I'm assuming probably the sky was meant to be done, but I think I'd probably use it in its current form in a little piece. I just added in, cut it out, and then integrated in. I guess over here it looks like it's maybe a little bit unfinished as well, but I kind of like the way that it's just sort of pixelating out a bit. Yeah, that's right, because that should be a sort of a full bush over here, and it should have some branches coming down into it. So that's that piece. And then a bunch of, these look like they've never been used. A bunch of beautiful little, I guess they're handkerchiefs, but just such incredibly detailed stitching on them. Just the little, the grub work or the bullion notch work is just exquisite, and they are in perfect condition. This is a bag, beautiful linen, and it's got a little crocheted bottom on it, and then it's got some little ties, so that could make a really cute little pouch or something. I can just see it doing something, I think, and you could stitch into that, and then the crocheted edge could kind of flip over like that. So there's possibilities galore. A beautiful doily. It's got a little bit of faint staining up here. Some of these I got in bunches of doilies because they were sort of stained, but it's so faint that it really wouldn't worry me, and I haven't washed these yet, so there's a good chance that any staining might come out anyway. This would have been probably either a collar piece or an edge around something. It probably is actually a collar piece, maybe a bit more of a sort of a dipping gown. So I'll put that over in my jug of laces. There's my jug of laces, just what you need. And again, this would have come out of the lot with sort of staining. But the great thing is, when it does have stains, if they don't come out in the wash, it gives you freedom just to be able to cut into the piece and use the beautiful designs, but use some of the linen as well. Use the edging as well, the crocheted edging, and you'll be amazed, even the little scrappy pieces are perfect to use for things like the pieces that I've created for Sally's stitch along. So just using little edge pieces, little scrappy pieces, they've made the perfect little edges for my pieces. So yeah, you can see I've just used scrappy bits here, so you can just get great use out of even the offcuts. Put that one aside for washing. This one looks like it's never been used. It's all starched and all firm, and got beautiful detailing along there. So I'll put that down into the bag because I don't think I'll need to wash that one. Some lovely tea towels. Beautiful cross-stitch design on that, and again in very good nick. And then a matching one with this lovely cross-stitch design along it. I do love the effect of the cross-stitch just on a plain linen. It's just lovely. Apparently you can do it, if it's sort of got an even weave, but that's amazingly neat for something without lines. Then this one is next up. I got a whole chest full of vintage linens. I've had to be washing and airing quite a lot of them because they did have a strong mothball smell. And this is an amazing hand-stitched sampler that was in there. It was very discoloured. You should have seen the amount of colour that came out of it. I can see that some of the pinky coloured thread has run a little bit, like it's got just a very faint sort of pinkiness where I washed it, but the other colours haven't run. And I'm sure if I put that in and just gave it another little soak and had a little colour catcher, I'm sure that would go away. But it doesn't really matter. It probably, if anything, just adds a bit of interest to the design. So these are all old transportation, but old with an E. It's got the Mayflower 1620, the Covered Wagon 1750, the Stagecoach 1770. The Iron Horse, 1850. The Wright Plane, so the Wright Brothers, 1903. Riverboat, 1861. And then it's got the Horse Car, 1905, and the Model T, and that's 1910. So I just thought that was incredible. I would have been happy, I think, even just to get this one, even without all the other things that, and I haven't got them all in here because some of them are still in the airing stage, let's say. And then there was a little bundle of little embroideries, again from vintage inspired people. So some spare little pieces and a little thinking of you. I think I know who that one is intended for. I've got a friend that loves the purples and greens. This is from the Op Shop, and it's a bunch of like floristry wires, but I thought they'd be great for my sort of texture pieces. Some more goodies from the Op Shop. It's all a jumble in the box next to me, so I'm just grabbing things out as I go. So we have some more gorgeous laces. Again, these would have just been 50 cents, but beautiful handmade laces are just incredible. Again, I might bring you down a little bit just to look at the laces. So there's that. I'll put that in my lace jar. A piece of ribbon with a lot of beading in it, and again, whether I'm using this in a nature's textures piece or adding it as a little trim on a pouch or something, really great. And there's lots of that. Some beautiful broderie anglaise, really detailed stitching on that. And it's just great to have these small, well, some of them aren't small pieces here, that's a very decent amount of lace, but I just love how fine this this vintage or antique lace is. Really gorgeous. And a huge quantity of this beautiful vintage lace. So quite a simple design. It almost looks like little fish, doesn't it? I suppose it could be a leaf with a flower as well. But there's a lot of that. Looks like it's got something just trapped in it. Take that out. Always love the vintage ribbons, the fabric ribbons, especially when they have these little designs embroidered into them or woven into them. A very sweet little blue flower, and you can cut these out and use them individually, so extra versatile. Likewise with this one, which I've never seen a braid like this before, but with beautiful fruits or flowers, not sure which they're meant to be. I suppose, yeah, blue. There's not even that many flowers. Oh no, there are blue flowers, but not ones sort of in that shape. But yeah, they probably are flowers. But again, you can cut a little section of that out. In fact, I popped one of that in a package I sent off this week. Another fun trim. Looks quite old. I was going to say it's hard to know because it's almost got some modern sort of retro boho vibes to it, but it probably is an older one. Yep, you can often tell by the smell. It just has that sort of, yeah, that older smell to it, not the new production smell. And these, I've never seen anything like these particular ones. They're very sweet. They've got like little leaves and then yeah, flowers in them. It's got that one, and there was another one, I don't know if it's here or if I had it somewhere else, that's got little beaded centers. So that's two lots of the same one. I'm sure we'll find it somewhere in the stash, unless it's fallen out. Oh no, it was this one over here. There we go. So the flowers are more sort of folded on this one, and they've got little beaded centers in them. And then some lovely vintage gold trim. Again, that will be great for the Christmas goodies. At that same Op Shop, I picked up a bag of $2 decorations. Now, I could see that some of them were plastic decorations, But I also had a feeling just by the weight and by looking at a few of them that some of them were glass, and indeed I was right. So for $2, how beautiful is that blown glass ornament? Very heavy, and again you can just tell the difference. Let me give you a little demonstration, because if you're in the op shop and you're not sure, these are 2 plastic ones, so listen to that. And then let's grab out carefully another one of the glass ones, and then that sound, that's your glass sound. And so this is a beautiful little Christmas tree as well, and just so delicately blown. So those are glass. Those ones, as I said, there's plastic ones in there. I'm not so much of a snowman sort of girl, so I suppose I could always donate the ones I don't want back to the op shop. I don't mind this plastic one that's peace on earth. It's got an important message to it, doesn't it? So yeah, there's a few more plasticky ones, but there are definitely some beautiful little glass ones in here. This one, glass, hand blown, and it's a little manger scene. So sweet. So the little manger and Mary and Joseph, and look at that. And then there's this one also, glass, a beautiful heart, and another gorgeous glass one, which is another Christmas tree. And I love that you can see in this one, you can see the sort of the bubbles from when the glass was blown. And I think that's all the, that's all the glass ones, but 5 beautiful glass hand blown ornaments for $2. I'm not going to sneeze at that. So you do just have to, you just have to look well when you're at the op shop. Never assume. And then this is marked 1920s French 4 meters, and it's a little bit more than the usual 50 cents. And it's on I think an original piece of card. So I'm just going to pull the plastic envelope apart if I can. Otherwise, I'll get my scissors. Might be a better bet. Because it's been tough to open. Back in my little jar, and it's a tiny little lace, and I think it's handmade. Oh, it's got a little knot in that end, so I won't try and open that now. I just want to get it in focus so you can see how fine that is. Isn't that amazing? And it's on a card. Something reparation pianos. So maybe this isn't even a lace card. It's just something else, and marks. And that's got Paris written in very small. IMB Jark Paris something. So I might even have to type some of those words in and see whether I can find a piano. It's got some more words. Étrangère, and then Paris up there. So I love my little bits of history within haberdashery. So I can never go past that. And then a much cheaper lace, 50 cents. But because I've been using these types of laces for the backgrounds of some of my Christmas pieces for the Stitch Along with Sally, I thought I'd pick this up. And I didn't even know what pattern it has on it, but it has a beautiful butterfly and flower pattern. So again, that will be great for sort of layering into pieces. A collar for 50 cents. They always sticky tape up these bags, so it does make them a bit hard to reuse at times. I do reuse the ones I can. This will need a bit of a soak. And what's it got? Where was it made? Japan. So this is how you can tell. Nylon washable, a top hit fashion bar, BAAR and Beards Inc. in Japan. So I'll have to look up that brand name. But you know me, I just love my vintage haberdashery. So we'll pop that in for a soak. A few more bits of laces and things. A little birch embroidery motif, but you know me, with my strawberry project coming up, I had to get that one. This is 1¼ meters, and again, these little flower motifs can be used for individually or as whole sets. I'll get it out so you can see it a little better. This one's incredible. I've not seen a lace like this before. Again, it's very old, but it's got this beautiful little like flower design in colour in the centre of it, but it is so fine and so lovely. So that's a definite treasure. And then these little orphan bags, 50 cents, of vintage or antique beading and sequins are very, very special, and I do save them because usually they've been reclaimed off clothing and other things, so they are little treasures. This would be a newer piece of lace, but I got this for a friend whose colour scheme this is definitely in, but it's a lovely detail on it, almost like little butterflies. They probably are butterflies actually. So I'll put that over with my purples. And then this one, again, this would be a newer piece of lace, but I just thought they're great in that you can cut out the individual elements. Oops, there's another bit more of that beautiful beaded scented trim. Got a good quantity of that. And another lovely, look how gorgeous this one is. Really beautiful. And that's definitely antique. So yeah, 50 cents or $1. Yeah, honestly, I can't go past them. I will be getting some things and sharing some of my treasures as part of a bit of a craft room de-stash. I'm getting a big pile together and I'll probably kick that off in the new year as well. I don't think I'll get it done before Christmas, but I'm getting the pile together. So I will be sharing my bounties. It's just getting the time to kind of, yeah, do that. This is the wonderful wire, not the wonderful wire, the ribbon that has a very thin wire in it. That means you can shape it into petals and things. So I've got quite a bit of this, so there will be a project coming up using that. Speaking of beautiful black beaded pieces, I was lucky to, this was at my local op shop as well. I got a number of these, so I'll definitely be de-stashing some of these, but these are just incredible. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous black bird, and I've got an idea for a project with these as well that builds on an idea that I explored in an earlier piece as part of Down the Garden Path. So I'll be sure to share that, and I might make up some packs that will go with that project idea that could be used with this as well. But isn't it amazing? Amazing. I was thinking of my friends, including Sally, that made a grimoire recently, a slow stitch grimoire. I thought, oh, wouldn't this be perfect for something like that? But look at that. And again, these are quite old, I think, because that's all done in hand stitching. It's not machine stitched because it's being beaded and sequined. Yeah, it's, I think, very hard to get a machine to do something like that. So there would have been a lot of work into that. So when I spotted one, I went on the hunt and I managed to find some more. While we're on our trims, this little one, probably it's a newer one, but again I like it because you can take the individual elements off. We've then got a beautiful ribbon. This one doesn't have wire in it, but look at the beautiful ombre effect. Another lovely ombre ribbon. This one, yep, does have its wire in it. Another orphan piece of beading for 50 cents. Christine can't resist these. I have to save them. And I do put them onto my pieces. Like I've got one on my container, the fabric container based on a poem. Oh wow, look at this one. Oh my goodness, look at that. That might have to go in with my bird piece as well. Pondering, but wow. Wow. Let's see. See my very dry hands at the moment. I really should be putting a bit more hand cream on. Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? I feel like that could almost be a glamorous little outfit for my hand. Beautiful. Look at that. And it's on this almost like it's almost disintegrating. That's why some of these pieces I do need to, when I get them, stitch them down onto something to actually preserve them, or maybe even put them in like a little frame or something. Because that is a treasure, and again, it's criminal. It's actually criminal for 50 cents, but I suppose it's probably been drifting around in that box for a while, and lots of people probably don't see the full value or beauty in it. These are just, I actually got a whole bunch of these, and again from the Opshop. I had bought some of them previously from Vintage Inspired People, some printed fabrics. But these are some really sweet little cottages, and again I thought I'd share some of these with a friend that loves little English cottages. Don't know if I was in focus when I showed you the first few, so I'll just show you those ones again. So some of these are on silks. That's on like a fine weave cotton, a silk, and a cotton. So yeah, I think they were 20 cents each, maybe. And then this is just a lovely hessian, but a nice sort of crafting hessian in a green, which I thought would be good. This one I had to get because it has strawberries on it, so I had to get that. It's just a table runner. Nice finishing on the back though, and I'll be able to give that a wash and share some of the other bits of that. This one I think is probably meant to be like a little, maybe a cutlery roll, but I thought it could be useful as well to put some things in when you're traveling, whether you put your sort of like friction markers. Don't know if it will be sort of strong enough for to hold scissors. You might need to do some reinforcing. But I thought it could be a handy little container to have. I can even probably put my my glue in. Maybe glue would have to go in that one. This might have to go in a different pocket. Yeah, and I just thought it could be handy, and I liked the fabric. It almost reminded me a bit of a Liberty fabric. So that's sweet and handmade, and again I had to save it, and I can see a use for it. I got the whole pillow for this, and it looks like it's never really been out somewhere. The pillow inside was perfectly clean, and it is a beautiful Frida Kahlo piece, and I thought, oh, wouldn't this be fun to do some stitching into, almost some Maggie Morris inspired stitching. If you've been watching Annie from Arty Farty Annie, she did a Maggie Morris inspired piece or pieces, and so yeah, I thought it could be lovely. But it's so funny, Travis loves these smaller little pillows, and he loves to now pretend like he's a human, and when he gets on the couch he gets up and positions himself so he can rest his head on a pillow. So I thought this could go with his bean bag if I don't end up embroidering it, and it's a nice size pillow that he can rest on when he's sitting in Alex's office. Got a few more minutes, but I think we'll get through everything in time. So this was $5 for the pair of these sort of French cafe window coverings, but again I had to get them because they have these beautiful fruity designs on them, but particularly the strawberries. And there's quite a bit of them. There's quite a few repeats, and then there's this smaller one as well, again with lots of repeats. So I'll again have plenty to share, because I know strawberries and fruity things are very popular at the moment. So I'll pop that in for a freshen up wash, because I wash all my linens when they come to me. I just prefer to do that to know that I'm sort of storing them in good condition. So this was 5 meters by 1 metre for $5. So you're paying $1 a metre. Again, it's more than I probably need, so I'll probably end up destashing some of it. Definitely very vintage fabric. It's got the beautiful, I always forget what this sort of crinkliness is called. It will come back to me. Not gingham, because that's the checkiness. Yeah, no, it's escaped my mind, but you know what I mean. But yeah, just lovely, and it'd be great to stitch into as well. So there's that, and then there's another piece here, $3, which is 2 metres by 2.5 metres. Let's just make sure we're staying in focus. So again, probably more than I need, unless I'm going to use it as like a backing on something. As you watch me battle with the label. But just love that vintage design, and what a lovely sort of bright and cheerful colours. And again, it's that thing that I've forgotten the name for. And then some more hessian. I always I have particular colours that I like to get the crochet wool in, so I'll add that into my crochet wool container next to me. This was a pure silk starter pack, Garden Colours, Bucilla or Bucilla, I think that's quite a good brand. And I thought this would be great if I'm just going away to a workshop or something. I can just take a selection of silk colours with me. So it's 10 colours, 10 yards, 9.1 metres. So that's quite a lot of silk ribbon. There was this little bookmark clip at the op shop, 50 cents, and so it's a little metal clip with a little swinging tree, but I thought I could even use that on a pouch, so that's why I sometimes get things. Just trying to make it so you can see the little tree. A pillowcase, but it's so well finished, it doesn't have any raw edges at all. And it's in this beautiful fabric, so it must be doubled over fabric. So there's actually quite a lot of fabric in this one pillowcase, and I thought it was such a beautiful, almost like a toile sort of Frenchy design. Just a piece of modern Christmas ribbon, but again I got that for the piece I'm doing with Sally at the moment as part of her stitch along. Some very lovely and Colette, you love, as well as loving buttons, you love all these sorts of vintage little flower and leaf displays. I just love how soft and how soft they feel. They've got that sort of velour surface, but again I just thought they could be lovely to add into stitch projects, or just have them displaying like Colette does in her studio. Just have them in little pots and nicely arranged. And if I do end up making some flowers and things, it'd be great to put some of the leaves with them, so I'm sure that will be a future project. And not finally, because there's another little bag of things, 50 cents. I found these at the op shop, and they are some beautiful little metal buttons, but they're in a little tea set, which is very, very sweet. So I might put those, I've got my little miniature Irish display cabinet up on the shelf over there, so I might put them in that for the time being. Just pop them over there. And then finally, this was from Vintage Inspired People, 9 lots of PLA threads for DMC for $10, which I thought was quite good. These are the really thick ones, which are great for some pieces. So browns for like trees and things, some nice blues, and some nice sort of flower tones. I think I've gone out of focus again. So yeah, that was a good buy, I think. And that is oh no, I haven't shown you the final bit. We've got 2 minutes, so I will go fast. Was the haberdashery goodies in this vintage sewing case. So I'll quickly go through them. I am continuing to collect little vintage pincushions. I just love this one, All Things Grow with Love. I think that's probably why I got this. It was just like a bulk little lot. I do love these card, made with card, and I guess they have a plastic sort of covering on them. And this is just a little needle book, but I think it's very cute. And then a bunch of other goodies, which we'll just go through very, very quickly because we are at the 1 hour mark. So another little needle book. Don't even know what these are. Susan, oh, yarn bobs, so you can use them to wrap your yarn. Needle threaders, little bobbins, variety of buckles. I've got a whole jar of buckles. I've been ending up with them from all sorts of like random stashes. This is for marking onto fabric. I once found one of these when I was helping Alex with clear out his Nonna's house, and I thought it was for pastry, but nope, it is for marking out on sewing. Another buckle, some more little bobbins, another buckle. A lovely made in England measuring tape, very well used as well. It's a Dean one. It's not a fabric, it's like a coated fabric. Some trims of various sorts. All these will be lovely for the Christmas goodies. And then this is for knitting or crochet, lightweight rayon, but a lovely colour actually, so that will be nice to stitch with. A piece of quite old looking lace actually. An old singer needle holder, and some sorted sewing needles, which if they're not rusty I can definitely still use. Some lovely floral ribbon. Now this one's I think it's fabric. Maybe it's got a little coating on it as well, but look how sweet that one is. It's a little Dean's one. Oh no, do you have to? Oh yeah, you press the button and it retracts in. As you saw, it did very fast then. There you go, all the way back. Made in England. So even though it's plastic, it's well made in the past, and a lovely bit of trim that just needs probably a bit of a wash and a bit of a freshen up. It looks like it's got a bit of age in it. So I will definitely pop that in for a wash. I've been keeping it all sealed in its little bag till I could show you, because I just do that in case it's traveling with any little infestations or anything like that. So hopefully you enjoyed seeing that stash of goodies, and I hope you have some lovely thrifty finds yourself, and I will chat to you soon. Bye everyone.